Save a what? Because New York and Westchester may face power emergencies this year. Because now and in future years, protection of the Earth's environment requires we use all kinds of energy wisely and not wastefully. Save a what? Because if we start conserving electricity now, we may avoid more serious problems later. Con Edison is doing everything possible to end power shortages.
We at Con Ed ask people to conserve electricity. For example, it could help if people would cut back a little on their use of air conditioning. But when they need power, we've got to be there with it.
Con Ed is on its toes 24 hours a day. They have to be. And you have to supply the public. You can't keep them hanging.
People don't want excuses. They want their lights on. That's our job. We have to meet our customers' needs. All day, all night. You might say we're the people behind your light switch.
To make electricity, we need fuel. So one of the fuels that we use is oil. Tankers bring 7 or 8 million gallons at a time to the generating stations.
We used to use coal, which was efficient but dirty. Now we use oil, which is low on sulfur content.
In fact, the sulfur content has to be a fraction of 1%. We use a lot of gas too, and of course, we have nuclear plants.
We burn fuel in our furnaces to turn water into steam. The steam in turn runs the turbines, which are connected to the generators. And it's the generators which make the electricity.
In the generator control room, the entire power producing process is being constantly monitored by the station operators. You can't store electricity, so exactly the right amount has to be produced at any given moment.
From the power plant, either overhead or underground transmission lines carry power to substations, where the current is stepped down to voltages people can use.
In New York City, to bring power to our customers, we have to go into the streets.
The environment in which they work is about the worst you can get. Many of these manholes where they're working are wet. Most of them are wet. Many of them are hot. Steam mains close by. They're obviously dirty because the streets drain down into them.
No system in the country, or probably even in the world, can compare with ours. The types of cable we have or the conditions we have to work under.
Our cables are generally copper conductors. They're generally lead covered. There's more copper under the sidewalk in New York than there is in the state of Montana.
We have so much cable in the underground system that you could go around the world 3 times with it.
A great deal of our activity underground is reinforcing or improving our existing system. As each new building goes up, the demand for power increases tremendously, and we have to try to keep pace with that. You have some cables that are down about 30, 40 feet. You have a shaft to get down.
You make one trip through our East River Tunnel and it amazes you the quantity of your gas mains, your steam mains, cable.
I think I have seen more cable failures than anyone I know of. I get the nickname of cable coroner, writing obituaries for our cable failures. If our cable joints do not function properly, we're very anxious to see why perhaps our design should be changed, perhaps our workmanship should be checked up.
We at Con Ed must be involved in training because the kind of skills we require are not taught in any school. There's no place else to get this training except here at Con Ed and from older Con Ed employees who are the experts, who have spent a lifetime developing and using their skills. And now it's their time to pass it on to the new workforce. These jobs are very critical. They must also be done safely, because a mistake could cost a worker's life.
You would get fires underground mostly. The company trains the men and trains them how to put out fires, how to run through these emergencies.
Although our engineering and our whole company thinks underground, we do have a lot of overhead in the air.
Climbing a pole, most people think that the height scares them. Yes, basically it does. If they look up and the clouds are going by, it looks like the pole is coming down on them. So we get them to look straight ahead, but this is not their job at all. Their job is when they do reach the top of the pole.
Well, at the schools, they're teaching pole climbing, but while the company is going more and more to bucket trucks, it's very important that the men still know how to climb a pole.
We have no poles in the borough of Manhattan, but out in our outlying districts such as Westchester, we mostly rely on our overhead system. When it comes to breakdowns, they don't care what the weather conditions are. We have to get out there, find the trouble, and repair it.
When a cable is down, there may still be voltage on it, so that we get out there fast.
We're tree trimmers. We trim more trees than the park department does. Most people think a lineman works in ideal conditions all the time. He really has problems. He's always working under adverse conditions. He's got the rain, ice, snow, sleet, you name it.
It's a complete different way of living that possibly a lot of people don't understand or appreciate, you know?
Con Ed is one of a number of utilities which comprise what is known as the Northeast Power Grid. This is a system by which the various utilities are tied together in a grid system which is capable of picking up the load when any one of them is in trouble.
And periodically, the helicopter goes up and rides over these cables and checks them, sees if there's any damage.
But as you drive around the country today, you will see unusual appearance of poles. They look different and they blend in a little bit better with the surroundings. There have been changes recently in design and outward appearance of poles. Of course, they have developed from the old-fashioned wooden pole to a metal pole, and some now are fiberglass in various combinations. A tremendous amount of power goes through those wires, and it requires a pretty good-sized structure. You don't want it too low, so it would interfere with things, so you put them up in the air a little bit.
The Con Ed system is a vast system running from Westchester, Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan, and the Bronx. We serve 9 million people. It's all interconnected. It's a very complex system. It's cables, feeders, transformers, power plants, and it's all controlled right from here.
The main function of the control center is to provide the sort of picture window of the whole system.
We monitor every generating plant on our system. If our customers start using more electricity, we can increase our output.
Technically, the way it's done is that through communications with our generating stations, we are able to raise and lower the generators automatically from this building.
Maybe a summer day, which we have a hot spell here, and well, everybody starts turning on their air conditioner, and all the generators and boilers and everything else in the company starts to work that much harder.
We have many things we can do, and the men are well trained to meet the emergency.
The system operator is definitely in control. He knows what load he has, he knows what capability he has, he knows what he can get from other utilities, and he knows what relief he can get from voltage reduction.
When all this happens, it's all monitored and it's all controlled here at the Energy Control Center.
Red Wagon man is actually a jack of all trades. He'll answer any kind of a call that might come on the system.
Well, one of the main causes of manhole fires is the city spreading salt on the streets. It breaks down the resistance of the cable when it mixes with the water in the manholes, and the salt will cause the current to flow and short-circuit the cables out.
And then number 9, which is emergency dispatcher, we keep in contact. He will keep us in the right direction of doing the job properly.
Whenever a piece of equipment fails, we try our best to repair it on the scene. A lot of times we can't, so we remove the equipment, we'll send it up to one of our shops, like the shop we have up in Van Ness up in the Bronx.
The miracle of Van Ness is that you can take a piece of old equipment, bring it up to standards, recondition it, and send it out as if it was a piece of new equipment.
I've seen other shops belonging to other vendors and other manufacturers. I will say this about the Edison shop. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a shop where we can do anything.
When we have a breakdown, time is very important. That equipment must get back online. If we send to a manufacturer, it might take 7, 8, 9 weeks to get that piece of equipment repaired. But at the Van Ness shops, we have properly trained men and equipment. We can make that piece in a couple of weeks.
What does Con Edison need laboratories for? You know, I thought you made power and sold it. Yeah, but there's an awful lot that goes on in between. And this is where the laboratories come in. Most of the materials and supplies that are used, we do test.
Each glove has a number. There's, I think, about 10,000 gloves in the system.
Our staff includes not only chemists, but biologists and botanists and meteorologists, all of whom are considering the impact of Con Ed's operations on the water, the air. They have an extensive program looking ahead 10, 15 years into the future in an effort to find the best way to balance meeting the power needs of the people of New York City with their environmental aspirations.
We have a tremendous number of meters throughout the city. I would estimate over 4 million meters.
They're very accurate. You could probably set your watch by these meters. In fact, the design of any meter that we use for billing purposes must be approved by the Public Service Commission. In fact, they also conduct sample tests.
A lot of people are under the impression that we're strictly electric. But we have with this electricity, we have gas and steam. Generally, a man works on gas, does not work on electric, although we have some men who are diversified in either one. On this insertion job, we're taking a 30-inch low-pressure gas main that has been giving us a lot of maintenance problems, and we're inserting a 20-inch high-pressure main. We can save 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks of excavation.
We figured the main ran in a straight line for about 4 or 5 blocks. We weren't too sure. We had one of the fellas, we called him Little George. We put him on a skid and we pulled him through the pipe. We asked him approximately where the drop was, and he said, "I'll take a rope in with me and I'll give you a measurement."
We all work together, try to make a team in order to make the thing go.
You learn your job and you do your job right.
Each weld that is made by our welders is like a Picasso. It's beautiful.
Now, each weld is x-rayed, and should there be any imperfection, it will immediately show up.
It's always the first day is always the hardest, right? Now we've got ourselves set up to our daily routine of our job. It's just a continuous pattern from there on.
Every hand movement means something to a professional rigger. And of course, Con Ed people on the job are also familiar with what these hand signals mean.
This steam station is being rebuilt and modernized. It'll be capable of generating 900,000 pounds of steam per hour. And this steam will be used to heat buildings in the wintertime and to cool them down in the summertime.
Over the last few years, data processing has changed faces quite a bit here at Con Ed. Under development is a very sophisticated customer service system which uses a computerized keyboard and a television-like screen. This information is extremely valuable in answering the customer's questions and satisfies complaints. Computerizing the customer service system enables Con Edison to give all of its customers truly a one-stop service.
We have new equipment in the field, too. With this new load lugger, we bring reels right to the job, set it up quickly. This saves a lot of time, and it prevents a lot of cable damage. It also makes it a lot more sightly. You don't have cables all over the street.
And more generation is needed, but you can't build a plant now in less than 5 or 6 years. It's just impossible. So we've purchased several barge-mounted generators which can be completely assembled and brought by means of water transportation. Can be parked off a dock and tied into our system. This takes only about 2 years. That's a way of getting power until you have another means of producing it. To meet our long-term demands, we feel that nuclear power is the answer. It's a very efficient means of producing power, and more important than that, it's a clean method of producing power. Indian Point 2, as well as all future nuclear plants, will be completely nuclear powered, and as such will emit no pollutants to the air.
More and more we find that we're pooling our power with other utilities in surrounding states. The new overhead and underground tie lines that we're constructing enable us to pool this power more efficiently and economically.
One of our newest ties is the crossing of the Hudson River, linking New Jersey with Brooklyn. Electrostatic cables were pulled through concrete-coated pipes laid in a trench in the bottom of the Hudson River.
This tie line is one of many jobs the people of Con Edison have done. But when you take all the jobs, the thousands and thousands of jobs people do, that's what produces the power for New York and Westchester.
When you have light, you have everything. And when you're coming off a bridge and you see all them lights, you say, that's part of me. It makes you proud to be part of it.